Hi everybody, we are going to do 5.5 systems of inequalities, which actually starts not as systems but as just graphing inequalities, remembering how to do it when you have to put it on a two-dimensional graph. So remember, if you have less than or greater than without the equal to, it's going to be a dotted line. If you have the equal to, if it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, it's going to be a solid line. If y is greater than or y is greater than or equal to, you are going to shade up. And if y is less than or y is less than or equal to, you're going to shade down. So this is basically the key for this whole assignment. And 5.5 does go with 5.6. Like you have to do this in 5.6 a little too. Alright, so we'll start with checkpoint 1. Checkpoint 1, we have to graph an inequality. Alright, we have 4x minus 2y is greater than or equal to 8. Now, the book actually does this by doing intercepts and then you do a test point. I don't like to do it that way. I'd rather solve for y. So I'm going to subtract the 4x from both sides. So we have negative 2y is greater than or equal to negative 4x plus 8. And then you're dividing everything by a negative. And those inequality rules still apply, or if you divide by a negative, you have to switch the sign. So what we actually have here is y is less than or equal to negative divided by negative is a positive 2x. 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4. So we are going to graph that. So we start at negative 4. And then our slope is up 2 over 1. The best I can. Less than or equal to, so it's solid. And then less than or equal to tells me we're going to go from the line and shade down. So shading down would be down here. That means any of these points would be true if you plugged them into the equation. Any point that's not shaded, like 0, 0, would be false. So if we plug 0, 0 in here, that'd be 0 minus 0 is 0, greater than or equal to 8. That's false. So it looks like we shaded the right way. Alright, so that's checkpoint 1. Checkpoint 2 is when they actually have you do it this way. So it's set up a little bit nicer for it. So again, we're going to graph the inequality. We have y is greater than negative 3/4 x. There's no b, so our b would be 0. So we start at 0, 0. Then our slope is negative 3 over 4, so down 3 over 4. Or you can go up 3, left 4. And this one's greater than, so it'll be dotted. And greater than means we're going to shade up. So everything in this area would be true. if you plugged it in. Checkpoint 3, we have two special cases. And that's when you only have one variable. So for A, we have y is greater than 1. For B, we have x is less than or equal to negative 2. So greater than 1, that means it's going to be a dotted line. So dotted line through where y is 1. And greater than means that we will be shading up. X being less than or equal to negative 2. Less than or equal to is a solid line. Less than or you just either equal to, we'll shade to the left. And that's it. So this one does your greater than, like, so it's up or down. With the x's, you have to kind of think, all right, where is x going to be less than negative 2? Maybe everywhere down here where x is negative 3. Excuse me, where x is negative 4, negative 5, so on and so forth. Alright, so those are your special cases. Checkpoint 4, we're going to move away from lines a little bit. So checkpoint 4 is graphing a nonlinear inequality. We have x squared plus y squared is greater than or equal to 16. So x squared plus y squared greater than or equal to 16 is a circle. That's a circle with a center at 0, 0. And a radius of 4. So center at 0, 0, go out 4 in every direction. It's greater than or equal to, so it'll be solid. So with the circles, you're going to have to decide if the inside of it will be shaded or the outside. So where is x squared plus y squared going to be bigger than 16? So with circles, the greater than would be on the outside. If it says less than, then you would shade on the inside. You're going to have to, when you're in My Math Lab, there's a button to push that helps you with the shading. Okay, and you can do a test point. Like if you tested 0, 0, you would plug them in, you get 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 is greater than or equal to 16. No, that's false. That's why we don't shade over 0, 0. Okay, so that's circles. We are not doing checkpoint 5. All right. Checkpoint 6 gets us into the systems. Okay, we'll start with lines. So this one's linear. Let's see. All right, two equations for checkpoint 6 are two inequalities. X minus 3y less than 6. And then 2x plus 3y being greater than or equal to negative 6. Okay. So both of these need solved. for y. So our first equation, x minus 3y less than 6, move the x. Negative 3y is less than negative x plus 6. Divide by negative 3, so that means our sign will switch. Negative 1 divided by negative 3, that becomes positive 1/3 x. 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. So y is greater than 1/3 x minus 2. Then the other equation, 2x plus 3y is greater than or equal to negative 6. Get the y by itself, so move the 2x. 3y is greater than or equal to negative 2x minus 6. Divide by 3. You're not dividing by a negative, so the sign does not change. So you have negative 2/3 x, and then 6 divided by 3 will be minus 2. Alright, so here's our other inequality. So I'm going to graph those two. First one, we start at negative 2. And our slope is 1/3. So up 1 over 3. And then it's greater than, so that one will be dotted. Now, the shading. This is where these get a little more complicated. This shading, it's greater than, so I know this one, it's going to need to be shaded up. So I'm just lightly shading to remember that up here needs to be shaded. Nothing down here should get shaded for the final answer. Then our other inequality, negative 2/3 x minus 2. Starting at negative 2, our slope will be down 2, right 3, or up 2, left 3. This one will be a solid line. This is greater than or equal to, so up would be shaded. So your final answer is not all of that. Your final answer is only where the two shadings intersect. So only where it's greater than my orange line and greater than my blue line. Down here is not greater than orange. Down here is not greater than blue. So you don't include it. It has to be both. And any point that you put into these inequalities will be true if you pick a point from inside the shaded part. So that's how that works. Alright, checkpoint 7, we're going to have a nonlinear in there. So we're still going to graph a system. But it's not going to be linear. Alright, for this we have y is greater than or equal to x squared minus 4. And we have x plus y is less than or equal to 2. Alright, so that first one is actually a parabola. And it's a parabola shifted down 4. Because of the minus 4. So that means if we plug in 0 for x, it would be negative 4. If you plug in 1 or negative 1, it would be 1 minus 4, which is negative 3. Okay, so I'm just kind of plugging in points starting with 0. Negative 4, positive or negative 1 gives us negative 3. Positive or negative 2 will give us 4 minus 4, which is 0. Positive or negative 3 would be 9 minus 4, which is 5. That should be enough. And this one's greater than or equal to, so it's solid. and greater than or equal to would be to shade up. So the shading up would actually, it looks like it's the inside, but if this were opening down, greater than would be the outside. So you can't really say inside, outside with parabolas. You just say up or down. Then the other equation, or inequality, I keep saying equation. The other inequality is a line. Just solve that for y. Y would be less than or equal to negative x plus 2. So start at 2. Negative x would be down 1 over 1 for our slope, and there it hits the parabola, and there it hits the parabola. So less than or equal to is solid, and shade down. So the part they would have in common is the part inside the parabola there. It kind of caps it off. So this area here is where they have it in common. Alright, and then one more, checkpoint 8. This one has 3 inequalities. This one kind of gets you ready for 5.6. First is x plus y is less than 2. Then negative 2 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 1. And then the last one is y is greater than negative 3. So often these will close into one space. I'm actually going to start with the x part, where negative 2 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 1. So that means x has to be between negative 2 and 1. Negative 2 would have a solid line because it's got the equal to. And 1 would have a dotted line because it's just less than. So our final answer needs to be between these two. The next one that's kind of not so bad to take care of is the y is greater than negative 3. So y being negative 3 is a horizontal line. It's greater than, so it'll be dotted. So that would be in here. Now we're restricted to that. And then we have one more equation, which I would solve for y, make it y is less than negative x plus 2. So start at 2. Slope is negative 1, down 1 over 1. Or up 1 over 1. It's less than, so it'll be dotted. Less than will be shaded down. So that kind of puts a top in this here. So it'll be this area here, because that is the one that's bound by all 3. And only the points in here would be true for all 3 of those inequalities. So that is 5.5. I hope you have a great day. I will see you soon, hopefully. Or talk to you soon. Either way. Bye. Have a good day.